After starting the season with 4 games on the road, Hartford Athletic back in the friendly confines of Trinity Health Stadium on a chilly Saturday afternoon for the home opener against Indy 11. And a good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you back along with my partner, Mark Donaldson. I'm Joe D'Ambrosio, and Mark, 2-0-1 in league play, a U.S. Open Cup win. Great start for Athletic.
Super start, very pragmatic, just the 1 goal conceded, and someone that can score goals in Augie Williams. The problem today, though, they face an opponent who they haven't beaten since August 2022. And it was slightly warmer that day.
Yeah, a little bit warmer than today. As you get a look at some of the newcomers, certainly Augie Williams has had an instant impact. We won't see Barry Coffey today, but they've also strengthened the back line, which they needed after Joe Farrell announced his retirement.
They have the centre-back, Britton Fisher. Matt Real comes in at left-back. Samari is on international duty today. He's strengthened well, has Brendan Burke. Augie Williams is a brilliant addition. And Barry Coffey, who just tweaked his hamstring in the last game at Brooklyn, misses out today. He'll be a super signing.
And we know Indy 11 is a step up in competition. Brendan Burke mentioned that earlier in the week.
They're big, they're physical, they're very, very direct. Augie would know them well too, but they're well coached, they're well drilled, and you talk about experience, they're probably one of the most veteran, if not the most veteran team in the league, or they certainly have been over the last few years, so they can find different ways to hurt you, different ways to win. So they're a huge test for us.
An early look at the table, Mark sees Hartford right behind Lou City, which is always one of the league's better sides.
Yeah, the task is simple for Brendan Burke. According to him this season, it's finish in the top 4, do better than last season, and guarantee home field advantage in the playoffs. Today they have a big boost because Indy are missing Charlie Sharp, their main striker.
We'll get to the lineups and opening kickoff next. Glad you're with us for Hartford Athletic Soccer here on ESPN Plus and the Wax.
An injured knee might look pretty simple, but there's a whole person behind that injury. One who misses the feel of his jump shot and spending time with friends on the court. It's not enough just to heal. He needs to get back out there. At Trinity Health, we're here to help you reach your goals. We combine all the knowledge and expertise of a national health system with personalized health care that treats the individual behind the injury. Because we see all of you.
The Great Fire of 1835 forced most insurance companies to close, but not us. The day our founders pitched in to pay every claim is the day the Hartford became the Hartford.
At Lux Bond & Green, we have been designing and crafting custom jewelry for decades. It's an art as much as a science, and really there's no room for error. It comes down to 100 little choices made by our own artists and experts who listen to you and create your perfect engagement ring by hand. Quality, value, and selection. Lux Bond & Green Jewelers throughout Connecticut and Massachusetts.
At this time, we ask that you please rise as we honor America of those who protect our safety and freedom both here and throughout the world with a singing of our
Hartford Athletic would like to thank the Mandel JCC of Greater Hartford, the official fitness center of Hartford Athletic. Visit mandeljcc.org to learn more.
When this is done. It is a brisk 39 degrees here at Trinity Health Stadium. The feels-like temperature is 32 for this home opener for Hartford Athletic against the team that they have struggled against in the past. Let us get to the lineups. And for Hartford, we'll see a couple of new faces.
Yeah, a couple of changes for both sides. From the win at Brooklyn, Dees Pay comes in for TJ Prestis, and Barry Coffey, who hurt his hamstring, is replaced in midfield by Andres Hernandez. Augie Williams leading the line, along with Sadat Anak. For Indy, two changes for them as well. After a good 2-1 win against Detroit, Herbert and Misanvi come in for Sharp and Rashid. Big issue, Charlie Sharp has started the season really well. A handful, had developed a really good partnership with Bruno Rendon. He's out injured today though, so Misanvi comes in, Rendon to his right, and Dylan Singh in a 4-3-3 for Indy 11.
So 39 degrees, it feels like freezing. What does that do to the players on the pitch? How does it change how they approach the game, especially with the wind blowing the way that it is?
It doesn't really. I mean, Indy have coped well with the conditions every time they've been here since 2022. They'll be confident that they can build on their win against Detroit and take 3 points back. From a Hartford perspective, just the one goal conceded so far. Just expect them to be a little bit more pragmatic this season and not getting done in transition as much.
Keys to the game brought to you by Hoffman Auto Group.
Yeah, I mentioned that pragmatism. They'll still have that ball over the top, and something I noticed watching in these first two games, they are susceptible to a direct hit over the top. That's how Detroit scored their goal. Hartford's solid defence is something that Indy will have to try and find a way through. And as far as the visitors are concerned, they're going to try and pack that midfield. They are a big side, loads of 6 foot plus. Josh O'Brien, Cam Lindley, and Noble Okello in the middle of the park. You add in 6'2 White, 6'4 Herbert, 6'2 Craig, and 6'1 Quinn, and then you've got Rendon at 6'2. It's land of the Giants in there.
Our referee today is Ethan Garcia, his third USL Championship match of the year. Hartford in the home green and white, and Indy 11 in bright red uniforms, kits with the white numerals. Eric Dick, who was the MVP of the postseason for Pittsburgh last year, will defend the goal to our left as we go through a moment here before we get play underway. I think Ethan Garcia walking up to the edge of the radius of the circle. Now I think we're set to go. Anthony Siaha, who was brilliant in goal for Hartford a year ago, defending the goal to our right, and the home season is underway. These two teams played twice a year ago, an entertaining 4-4 draw in Indianapolis, and then a 2-0 game here in Hartford that, as we were discussing in our pre-production meeting, was a little on the tedious side.
Indy were good that day. A big boost for Hartford is Jack Blake is not playing because he has a propensity to score every time these sides meet.
Matt Real, one of the newcomers, sends it into another newcomer, Sadat Anaku. Here's Arturo Dees Pay, wearing Joe Farrell's all number, number 15. And Eric Dick, the 31-year-old from Carmel, Indiana, makes his first touch of the day. This is an Indian team that lost to Brooklyn in their opener 1-0, though Sean McCauley thought they played better than the result would have indicated. And then after a 3-0 win over Des Moines Menace in their Lamar Hunt Open Cup game, they beat Detroit City last week by a score of 2-1. Augie Williams giving Hartford quite a look up front. The veteran, second all-time scorer of goals here in USL Championship, as that'll be a far side throw-in for Loic Masanvi, one of the newcomers to the Indy attack. And that should be the first corner of the match.
This is where they are a huge threat. A lot of height in there. Hartford are no slouches, but you're down to the 6th and 7th choice to pick up, and they're still over 6 foot. You're trying to defend against Indy.
The veteran Cam Lindley will trigger from the far side.
Wind is swirling. It's not really going in one direction, so anything on top of the penalty area here could easily end up towards Siaha's goal.
Looks like a New York subway at rush hour at the 12-yard spot. In swinger. And we've got offside, so it will be Hartford. No, actually they call a foul on the play.
Yeah, it's one of these phantom fouls that referees usually give to the defenders. If it happens the other way around, you never see the attacking team get the penalty, but Hartford not complaining.
They try to play Williams up ahead with the English veteran Hayden White. It was an Indy team that a year ago missed the playoffs. Finished 9th in the table on the Eastern Conference. And, of course, Hartford had that great second half of the season. As you get a look at the head coach in his 3rd year, Sean McCauley.
Yeah, pretty much both him and Brendan Burke starting at the same time. Both going into their 3rd years.
Little tussle between Singh and Jordan Scarlett. Scarlett gets whistled for the foul, so it'll be a restart for Lindley.
It's a good call. He was all over him. Another opportunity we saw with the corner, the kind of congregation around the penalty spot. This time it's going to be at the edge of the box, and then they'll all make their own way to where you think the ball is coming into.
Bruno Rendon with a conversation with Ethan Garcia.
Indy taking the lead in 3 minutes the last time the sides met in September. It's been another quick start from the visitors.
Hernandez and Anaku with the 2-man wall. Hayden Quinn. Nobody's played more matches in USL history than the veteran. Sends it towards the box. Headed up in the air. Siaha racing to get to it.
I thought that delivery was really good from Quinn. It's just where he wanted it, so the goalkeeper couldn't come out, but it was Dispay that got there first.
So it'll be a Indy throw-in. Not exactly a scintillating pace to start this one. It'll be Hayden White out of Greenwich, England, in his 3rd year with Indy 11.
That's where Greenwich Mean Time originated.
Ball is loose. Save Siaha.
Brilliant save. Poor defending from Hartford. The flick on caused all sorts of problems. But that's just a case of a goalkeeper making himself big and doing really well.
Hartford trying to counter. Indy maintains possession. 18 is the 6'5" Noble Okelu. 20 is Hartford is Andres Hernandez as they play it out wide. Here's Sebastian Anderson. Knocked free. And it's cleared by Okelu. And Hartford will have its first corner kick. Trinity Health of New England, proud to be the official medical provider and title partner of Hartford Athletic. Always committed to providing the best health care experience every day for every patient. Trinity Health of New England, we see all of you.
That was a really good save from Eric Dick.
So each keeper has been called on to make a big save early on. Hartford scored on a corner kick in the win against Brooklyn, but Barry Coffey's not in uniform today. That one never gets up in the air, drilled along the ground and cleared out.
Also scored a header in the first round of the US Open Cup from a set piece.
Dispay gets turned around. regains possession and clears it over the far touchline. That was almost disastrous for Arturo Dispe. It'll be Indy to throw in from the far side. Cleared out by Hernandez of Hartford. Here's Anaku.
He's got to run round him. It's not a free kick.
Tried to run through him, and that wasn't so. Brendan Burke doesn't like the non-call.
No, he's got to run round him. I mean, it's a long way around Hayden White. He's a strong and powerful player, but he's got the pace on him. Why does he run into him?
6 in the middle, the veteran Beverly Macangila, starting his 4th year with Athletic.
Looking forward to seeing Augie Williams and Sadat Anaku. It's like little and large. There's pace in there. There's power. It could be a good pairing.
Matt Real, one of the big off-season acquisitions to Britton Fisher. North Carolina native, came from Minnesota United 2. One thing that Hartford's been able to do the last couple of years, especially this year, is retain the key components from the year before.
Yeah.
Real catching up to it. Sends it into the box. Cleared off the 18 by Indy 11.
That's a ball I think Hartford will get success with today, the diagonal in behind.
Good ball by Macangila. Hernandez plays it up ahead. And Dick will play it over the east touchline. Hartford 3 goals in the opener against Sporting Jacks. Scoreless tie with Birmingham Legion, and then the 2-1 win over Brooklyn. They also scored twice against FC Motown in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on an equally frigid night in New Jersey, though Brendan Burke says last week in Brooklyn was even colder. I'm not sure it was as cold as this, though. Hartford maintains possession. Macangila gets away from Lindley. Now the diminutive Junior Marrero. Rio moves into the middle of the pitch to help facilitate. Marrero's a guy who's got a lot more on his plate this year for Hartford. They play it back for Britton Fisher. Saw action with Minnesota United's MLS team in U.S. Open Cup play. Now Hartford's got a U.S. Both these teams have a U.S. Open Cup game this week, so. But this is the game that you concentrate your talents on, and if you win in the U.S. Open Cup, so be it. Hartford's got to see Rhode Island again.
Yeah, Indy have got Union Omaha at home on Tuesday night. Chance to make a few changes and still get through for Indy.
Here's Sebastian Anderson, had a terrific year last year for Hartford. Led the squad in minutes played. Hartford plays it along the left channel. Now Williams. Real was trying to cut over. Instead, they cross fields to Hernandez. Marked on the far side by Misanvi. Now Real. Hartford doing a good job possessing the ball.
Yeah, Indy very rigid, making sure there's not too much space.
Played free for Marrero. Tried to go to Williams, but he was marked. Hartford maintains possession. Now Real plays it square to Hernandez, back to Marrero. Marrero overlapping on the left against Rendon, cuts inside him. Here's Junior, plays it in front, cleared out.
Really good from Junior Marrero. He knew that Hayden White couldn't get near him after he got by him.
Quick throw in by Real to Fisher. Hartford really maintaining the ball.
Yeah, I like the movement. Their movement off the ball is very good. There's always options. First 5 minutes that Indy were on top, but much better from Hartford since. And of course, they give it away when you praise them.
Broadcaster's jinx. Indy now forming up the counter. Overlapping on the right, here's Rendon. Has a goal already this season, floats it far post, and Siaha comes out to make the play.
What a good season he had last year.
He was terrific. Plays on the edge, which I think you like from your keeper. That's an understatement, right?
It's never dull.
The Hartford is back again and excited to help our team win from kickoff to extra time. They're proud to show their support for our amazing community as a founding partner of Hartford Athletic. Visit thehartford.com to learn more.
Yeah, the wind is proving a bit of an issue for both of these two teams. Just getting the ball under control and working out what way it goes. I mentioned it swirls. That clearance from Indy looked like it was heading out, but then caught the wind and came back to the middle of the field.
Matt Riel taken down by Bruno Rendon, slow to get to his feet, but he's all right.
Yeah, Rendon's had a good start to the season. I've rewatched the two games that they've played so far, Indy, and they just didn't show up for the first half hour against Brooklyn. Hardly did anything. And then after that, I thought they played pretty well. I thought they were good against Detroit. Charlie Sharp missing a sitter against Brooklyn just before half time. That could have been a very different story.
Anderson played a nice ball, but Indy was there to take it away and get the counter. Play in the middle, and the captain, Jordan Scarlett, right there to take it off the boot of Dylan Singh. Hartford plays in the middle of the pitch. Going right to left in this first 45. They look for Real to create a lot in that left channel. Hartford's ball movement, as you mentioned earlier, has been really good so far.
Well, the ball movement's been good, but so is their off the pitch movement as well from their players. Never standing still. Augie Williams making the run there.
There's a foul. Anaku takes down Paco Gregg, so it'll be a free kick for Indy.
It's just a game, Joe, with these conditions where you don't want to get bogged down in the middle of the park. There are many opportunities, and there will be, for that ball over the back of the fullback or over the top and get the centre backs turned for both sides.
Winds at 12 miles an hour, gusting to 21. Scarlett wins the aerial duel, but Indy maintains possession of Rendon.
Spoke to Jordan Scarlett this week and felt after that he was going to go into battle. He just so inspiring as a captain and a leader. You want to run through brick walls for him.
Has really accepted this leadership role, has grown into it.
All thanks to Mama's cooking.
Well, he promised his mama's food. We haven't seen that yet, so we gave him a gentle reminder about that. Here's Britton Fisher, 6'4", out of Greenville, North Carolina, one of the newcomers. Each goalkeeper has made one big save so far. Where the ball finds Matt Riel's boot a lot. Now Anderson cuts to the middle. Square ball to Riel. Plays it off Obello. Quinn tries to save it. He cannot, so it'll be a corner kick for Hartford.
He's just keeping tabs on Sean McCauley there, the Indy coach, and he wasn't happy at how narrow Hayden White had come in field. He was allowing too much space to Matt Riel, and that's an issue for Indy. You don't want to give Riel on the left and Anderson on the right-hand side too much time because you've tucked in, and now it's a corner that they have to defend.
So it'll be the left-footed Riel to play it from the northeast corner of Trinity Health Stadium. A hearty crowd has turned out in this 39-degree weather. Headed by, I believe that was Fisher, and he headed it over the cage. Randy's Worcester Street Pizza, the official pizza of Hartford Athletics. Stop by the stadium or visit their other Connecticut locations to enjoy some of the best pizza Connecticut has to offer. Plus, check out their new hospitality catering options right here at Trinity Health Stadium this year. No score into the 16th minute. Territorially, Hartford's had the better of play, but it hasn't. They've had the better of play, Mark, but it hasn't resulted in more than one shot on goal so far.
No. Two in the space of 30 seconds in the 6th minute. First of all, Herbert saved, and then Anaku saved at the other end.
Indy presses the attack. Through ball, and Siaha makes the play. Unusual not to see him in that pink keeper's kit that we saw him in last year with the Cancer Initiative. Wearing the all black with the highlighter yellow cleats. Deespe plays it up ahead for Williams. Dick will get there first at just about at the 18 to make the play. What do you make of what you've seen from Indy 11 so far?
I thought they started very well on the front foot, taking the game to Hartford. I noticed in the Brooklyn game, Brooklyn's intensity in that first half hour caused Indy a lot of problems. The weather hasn't been great as far as the wind swirling around, but that's for both sides. And from an Indy perspective, I think they need to get it wide a little bit more and try and get, whether it's Rendon involved down this right-hand side or Dylan Singh in the middle of the park, because we haven't seen too much of him so far. He's a good player if he gets service, as is Misanvi, who put that delivery in.
Sent towards Singh in the middle. Shot, save made by Siaha. That got on him quickly, but he managed to come up with it. Quickly on the run up the left channel, Morera. Tries to play it for the middle, but slips as he gets to the ball. Cam Lindley distributes it back. Long ball up ahead to Rendon. Bruno Rendon traps it on the byline. Good cut back by O'Brien. Here's a shot that's airmailed by Okello towards Wethersfield. And it'll be a goal kick for Hartford.
Interesting the tweaks that has been made by Sean McCauley this season. Josh O'Brien's played a lot at centre-back in his career. They've just moved him further forward into a kind of defensive midfield role. Some talk that they might move Quinn a little bit further forward in the build-up to this one, but he's staying at left-back.
'20th minute, no score. Played over the far side. And it'll be a Indy throw-in. Aiden Quinn. This is 293rd game. Number 2 all-time in assists in the league with 55. First in starts. This is his 279th of his great career. Coach McCauley describes him as the standard of the league.
Solid, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think you could disagree with that.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
Williams and White collide. Boy, White's built like a linebacker. Now Misanvi. Cam Lindley plays it out. Indy with some possession time here.
Yeah, Lindley's just asking Rendon to get forward a little bit more and get a little bit wider. Rendon instead goes through the centre.
Misanvi drops it back. Sent in, headed away by Deespe. Anaku can't control, then bumps Misanvi. Good contact. But the ball ruled out of bounds. We want to welcome our new TV partner this year, the Wax. Delighted to be seen there. Our good friends over in Rocky Hill. Rendon with a bump of Real, and that's called.
I'll be surprised if Indy miss the playoffs again this year. I think they've got some good additions. I was looking forward to seeing Charlie Sharp today. I was impressed by him to begin the season and the relationship he built up with Bruno Rendon. They'll be good this season. I fully expect them to return to the playoffs. It was just strange seeing them down in 9th after the 4th place finish the season before. Kind of role reversal for Hartford, who finished 10th the season before and then were 5th last year.
Yeah, you mentioned Charlie Sharp. He and Dylan Singh have a relationship from their days at Western Michigan University.
It's always a help. It's like quarterback, wide receiver at college.
Here's Real. Good hustle by Morera. Boy, he's got a terrific work rate. Ball kind of held up in the wind, but Anderson played it off to Andres Hernandez. Here's Deespe. Played through. Fisher couldn't get there first. Boy, look at how far out Siaha is. He was in the danger zone a little bit, letting that ball play. That ball almost played Siaha.
You going to tell him?
Sure. Oh, tell him that. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Wow, that's a brave boy.
Yeah.
Come back for a new season, eh?
No,
some off-season training?
I'm not playing him. I'm not going to tell Anthony Siaha how to play goal.
No.
He had a terrific year last year. Now Hernandez.
Just a really good signing, given that Renan Ribeiro decided that he didn't want to be at Hartford pretty late on in pre-season, and for Hartford to go and get him and for him to play as well as he did.
Backed up this year by Enzo Carvalho. Now Real plays it across the 18. Left-footed shot by Anaku goes wide.
Decision-making, though, Joe. I like the look of what I've seen from him so far. He's travelled a fair bit, Anaku, but you're not getting your foot wrapped around that, past the defender and past the goalkeeper like Eric Dick from there. Just decision-making.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. Distilled 6 times till it's just right. Tito's is known for great vodka, giving back, and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
But if you'd get that out before Eric Dick took the goal kick, but of course you managed.
We're glad you are savoring our initial home broadcast for Hartford Athletic this year.
Hopefully responsibly.
Hernandez, the El Salvador native.
See a little bit more of him so far.
Now Williams in the middle, but they had him marked up pretty well.
Handball.
Handball called against.
Paco Craig was the one who scuttles back, having handled the ball.
Yeah, the Englishman who pick up this year from North Carolina FC.
They did quite well last season.
18th player in league history to accumulate 20,000 minutes on the pitch. Sean McCauley saying earlier this week that he's had to learn a different game. Change his game a little bit coming to the Indy 11 side.
Interesting to see what Hartford do here. They've got options. I wonder if this might be one off the training ground. Just seeing Anaku drift to the right-hand side. So they have to keep tabs on him.
That's where they go. You are not just another pretty face. Here's a left-footer into the box, never gets through. Cleared away. And then Real can't control it. It goes over the far sideline, so it'll be a throw-in for Indy 11. Shots thus far, 4-3 for Indy. 2 shots on target for Indy 11. 1 for Hartford Athletic. Time of possession, Hartford Athletic, 71%. Indy, 29.
Yeah, give me quality possession rather than
exactly.
how much of the ball you've had.
I would say possession in the offensive third is what matters, right? Would you agree?
That's fair.
Maybe we can tell the good folks to come up with that as a stat. You can suggest that because you've got the cred. Scarlett changed directions quickly. Fisher almost overran it. Boy, that ball held up as they go cross-field to Sebastian Anderson. Nice one-touch. Played up ahead towards Anderson, but Dick comes off the line to make the play.
That was a good move from Hartford. Because that movement we spoke about earlier and the running off the ball as well.
26 minutes in. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Lux, Bond, and Green. Jewelers since 1898, celebrating life's special moments. Here's Rendon. Plays it back to Singh. Swing it cross field. Into the box. Singh can't control. Scarlett does. Good job by Masanvi there for Indy. Play it in. Headed up in the air by Real, and Siaha uses that big 6'5" frame to come down with it. Marrera avoids the contact and keeps possession for Hartford in the middle of the pitch. Michien Galena is available for selection today. He is on the bench, but he's gotten banged up, suffered a knock, and didn't play last week. There's a foul in the midfield by Sanaku. You know, you're able to bring a Michi Angelino off the bench.
Well, they don't have much else.
Right.
They don't have much else apart from him and TJ Prestis. It's a very young bench today.
Yeah.
You have Haji Pascalis, but Samari is on international duty. Coffey's got a hamstring injury, and Jai, Kariaga, and Obalola are all missing. Indy without Blake, Hogan, and Charlie Sharp. So both sides have got one or two selection issues.
Boy, Sean McCauley really directing traffic from the near sideline. Up in the air, headed down. Chipped into the box. Here comes Siaha, and he goes up in the air to take Paco Craig's effort to put it into danger.
Such an imposing figure, but such a help for his defence when he makes an early decision to come for something.
And that's a lot of communications too, obviously.
Sure. And that's another reason Hartford not changing every single player for a new season. Such a big thing for them, and how they can build on what they achieved last season with that USL Cup victory.
Missing Kyle Williams. He has moved elsewhere. Joe Farrell retired. Of course, last year, middle of the year, Mamadou Jang transferred to Minnesota United.
Marlon Hairston's
right. Jack Paniotu's, I believe he's at Charleston. He suffered through the injury plague last year, but most of the prime players are back. And that's why Hartford feels confident and why they've gotten off to one of the best starts in franchise history at 2-0-1.
And I love the signing of Augie Williams. Now, Hayden White, this is akin to a free kick. This boy can launch them.
Fisher deflects it, loose in the box.
No chance.
Okello couldn't get it through. Slide tackle.
Good on the referee for having words with Okello, who remonstrated as if to say, that's a penalty, ref. A, the hands were by the sides. It might hit them, but it was blasted against from close proximity. So good refereeing from Ethan Garcia.
Here's White, this time deeper to throw it in. Headed up in the air. O'Brien elevates over Anaku to get it. Rendon keeps the possession to Misanvi. Luik Misanvi, a Togo native. The ball basically kicked straight up in the air and then played out by Hartford on the far side.
Pendulum now swinging back Indy's way.
Yeah, there was about a 10-12 minute stretch where Hartford was dominating play.
It'll be a corner. He's given a goal kick.
No, said it was last touched by Indy 11.
Singh was convinced. Referee with a better view than anyone else. When you've got Singh and the threat that he poses in the middle of the park, you need to utilise his strengths by getting it wide and getting it in a bit better. A bit like Hartford are doing here.
Real sends Williams on his way. And that'll be a foul. And
yeah, it's a handball and a bad challenge.
That's also going to be a yellow on Anthony Herbert. Fans, that yellow card was a warning, and your home might be giving one too. Don't wait for a red card to fix that aging roof or drafty windows. When your home shows signs of trouble, stay in the game with New Face Home Improvements. They tackle the small issues before they become major league problems. New Face Home Improvements, your home's best defense. So, Anthony Herbert, the Brooklyn native from Trinidad and Tobago, gets the first yellow of the match here in the 32nd minute.
If we get 15 cards in a game, does that get 15 reads?
You're just trying to cause trouble, aren't you?
We'll miss most of the match.
It's a one-time thing. Okay. We welcome our friends at New Face Home Improvements to our broadcast. So Real and Anderson. Real wearing 3, Anderson 2 over the ball.
I was thinking back to Aidan Quinn's free kick about 20 minutes ago and how he kind of hit his spot between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. This is an interesting one because you can keep the goalkeeper guessing and keep it away with him, from him if Matt Real takes it. But Sebastian Andersson, with where Indy are defending right now, right on the penalty spot, this might be better suited to the left footer, but it could be problematic for the right footer.
It's Andersson, sends it in, right to Dick. Scarlett was going for the header, but couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I don't mind either option there, because any flick there and you've probably got the opening goal. It's good to keep the goalkeeper guessing, but Dick did well.
A little more than half an hour in. Here's the ball played up ahead, but it'll be fielded on a bounce by Anthony Siaha.
They need to get more width in their game. If they're going long, that ball's on, because sometimes Andersson goes forward, sometimes Real goes forward, but you can't go central because they'll just overhit it, and Siaha will clutch.
Scoreless. Hartford with a slight advantage. Here's a shot by Anaku and a goal! Sadat Anaku gives Hartford the lead in the 33rd minute. What a bullet that was.
So little backlift. Eric Dick has got no chance there. By the time he's decided to try and make a dive, the ball is behind him in the back of the net. That is a super goal. I spoke earlier about wanting to see Augie Williams and Sadat Anaku together. A 1-2 combo. It's simple. It's not great defending. However, look how little a backlift there is there. Great first touch. Second touch sets him up nicely. That is a fantastic goal from Hartford.
From about 22 yards out, I think he caught Eric Dick a little unaware, but that shot was hit so well. So Hartford gets on the board first. And Brass Bonanza sounds for the first time this year at Trinity Health Stadium.
A lot of players in this league only get a one-year deal when signing for new clubs, but they thought they had something special in Sadat Anaku. Did Hartford give him a 2-year deal, and you give him time, and he can punish you.
Along with Mark Donaldson and our crew, John Forster, Sir Thomas of Stanwix, in our Power Station crew, many of whom are braving the cold to send you the pictures. I'm Joe D'Ambrosio.
It's not like we're in the Arctic, Joseph.
It's not exactly balmy either, my friend, who normally has the broadcast booth set at Mr. Freeze temperatures. Backheeled, and Siaha will play that at the 6-yard mark. So Arturo Dizpe, who got that play in motion, gets the assist.
Remember a time, 2022-23 season, when Anaku was in Scotland with Dundee United and actually did really well, and they had high hopes for him. Then he got a bad injury. He didn't really play much more for them, so there was always something there. Rehab now complete. Hartford seem to have found themselves a player.
Boy, Matt Real is all by himself over here on the left flank, hoping that they reverse the ball, but they have to get possession of it first, and Indy takes it away. So Anaku from Dizpe in the 33rd minute, and Hartford starts the counter again. Here's Williams, who's got 2 goals already this year. Tried to go to Real, but it was taken by Hayden White and cleared out into the middle of the pitch to Okello.
Remember last season when Momo Dieng moved on to Minnesota United for a decent transfer fee. You wondered where Hartford's goals were going to come from. They have replaced his goals with both Augie Williams and Sadat Anaku. And again, the scouting department at Hartford coming up with the goods.
Now Real cuts to the middle and drops it back, and Hartford will reform.
It just feels different now when you speak to people involved at Hartford. For so long, as Jordan Scarlett said to us in midweek, Hartford was like, yes, for the opposition teams. It's Hartford, nice. We've got a day out in Connecticut, we'll get 3 points, and we'll come back having scored a few goals. That's all changed now.
When it comes to minimally invasive surgical options, St. Francis Hospital's leading the way with the latest, most advanced robotic surgical systems available. Surgeons at St. Francis delivering innovation and excellence, whether it's complex procedures or routine surgeries. Learn more about robotic surgery at St. Francis by visiting trinityhealthofne.org/robot.
That's just a prime example of what Hartford did last season and what Hartford will do this season. Bodies on the line, self-preservation, who cares? Just make sure that the shot cannot get to Anthony Siaha if possible.
White from just in front of the Hartford technical area. Looks like Dan Gaspar down there, as he normally does, the goalkeeping coach. It's good to see him on our visit to Windsor on Wednesday.
Hartford will take that all day long when you've got Anthony Herbert. When Herbert's the one that's trying to deliver, that just tells me that they might need a rejig at halftime.
This is a Hartford team last week that got outshot 26-11 in Brooklyn, and they've been outshot for the season 54-31. Now, the shots on goal is not that big of a difference, but the Brooklyn game last week, one of the two expansion teams really played, I thought, very well.
I think Brooklyn will be all right. I think they'll challenge for playoffs this season. I like the look of them, both in the game against Indy and Hartford.
Now Macangila. Hernandez in the middle. Out to Williams. Anderson, I should say. Plays it to the goal scorer, Anaku. 39th minute. 1-0 Hartford on the goal by Sadat Anaku. Marturo Dizpe. Dick has no problem playing it on the volley. On the one hop. Eric Dick. A good presence, according to Sean McCauley. He knew him from their time together with Minnesota United. Boy, that was... and they're going to call that, I think, on Hernandez.
I was going to say.
He got run over by Okello.
That was...
Now they change it.
Referee apologizing.
Sean McCauley with his arms outstretched. The fourth official trying to placate him.
Well, originally it was Brendan Burke who had his arms outstretched when he saw that the decision was going against his team.
Real sends it towards the 18, but it never gets there. Hernandez plays it to Real. Switches fields to Anderson, who heads it back to keep possession to Dizpe.
Hartford have done the simple things better so far. This pragmatic approach is paying off.
Controlling the midfield for sure.
That was one of our keys to the game, because if Lindley, O'Brien and Okello were able to get their foot on the ball and get the other three in front of them onto the ball, then that would be a problem for Hartford, but they haven't as yet.
Anderson scampers up the right channel. Ball is free. Played out of there by Anthony Herbert. And here comes Indy 11. Cam Lindley. Now Bruno Rendon. Marked by Fisher. Cuts left. Plays the ball back. Here's Josh O'Brien. Indy resets to Hayden White.
Yeah, I'm impressed how quickly Hartford got back into position there. Something Brendan Burke mentioned during the week about in transition. Sometimes they were too open last season. That's what he wants them to get back into position quicker. And that's exactly what they did there. This is good. This is a good spell for Hartford.
Shots on goal now even at 5 apiece. Shots on target 2 apiece. Hartford found the back of the net. Good run by Anderson.
He's unlucky.
Tried to play a through ball, but goes right through to Eric Dick. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, supporting partner of our community ticket program. Children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford able to come to the matches free of charge. Hartford's next USL Championship game on the road next Saturday at Miami. After the midweek trip to Rhode Island.
Yeah, back here Saturday, 11th of April, El Paso. Coming from Texas for that one. Expected to be a little bit warmer.
I would think it'd be warmer in Miami too. Here's Rendon. Cuts back on Fisher. Sends it in, cleared away. Good job by Hartford.
A really good job by Scarlett.
Rendon's got it again. Bruno plays it off Fisher. Good up in the air by Real. And Fisher boots it out of trouble.
You're seeing from Hartford how well coached they are by Brendan Burke and Aaron Wheeler.
Now Anaku. He's got Williams in the middle. Plays it on the far side for an overlapping Morera. Just a touch too far, but a good idea by Sadat Anaku.
I think that was great. I think it was the right ball as well, just slightly overhit. And the space for Junior Morera in there was created by a brilliant run from Augie Williams, who took the defender with him. On another day, that could easily be an opportunity for Hartford. But again, that counter was outstanding.
Anaku in the 33rd minute from Dizpay, a bolt from 22 yards along the ground. Left-footed bullet. Here's White for Rendon on the right. Played out of bounds by Britton Fisher.
Keeps it simple.
So they will wait for Hayden White to come up. Kind of like Sebastian Anderson is for Hartford, the king of the long throw.
Oh, Hayden can launch them. It was the early effort in the 5th minute from Herbert that came around from a White long throw.
Headed down, White will get there first and play it back to retain possession. Dizpay knocks over a couple of Indy players like bowling pins. Played up into the box, Real.
I thought
plays it out into the stands.
I thought Dylan Singh might have made more of that challenge from Dizpay. He didn't get the ball, got a lot of the man.
Indy brings players up. Paco Craig, 6'2" and sturdy, into the box. Certainly 6'5". Noble Okello in there as well. Headed out by Real. Boy, we've mentioned his name a lot. Shot sails harmlessly wide.
Yeah, they need a reset. Indeed, they've just lost all semblance of a plan here. And I don't think it's a bad thing that Sean McCauley will soon get the opportunity just to regroup his players and come up with something to try and trouble Hartford a little bit more, because when you've got players like Anthony Herbert trying to cross in the ball and overhitting it, when you've got desperate shots from Okello, which took place in the 18th minute, and then that one there, Hartford have got them at arm's length.
A mere 1 minute of Brignall Vineyard stoppage time for the first half.
Quick first half.
Good first half for the home squad.
Yeah, very good.
Trying to break a 6-game winless streak against Indy 11. Hernandez fans on it there. Quinn keeps possession. Anderson goes to the turf to knock it away. No missing. No White. One touch to White on the right. Sends it in. At the 18, a shot deflected. Siaha diving on that.
Very impressed by Hayden White and his distribution there from a wide area. I think we need more of that in the second half, Indy, because that's always the problem ball. If you can get to the byline and cut it back or drive it in, that causes defenders problems. Indy need to do more of that. That was good from Hayden.
White again to make the long throw. But before that, we've come to the end of the first half.
Really? We haven't played the minute.
Huh.
And Hayden White was going to have a long throw into the box, and by the looks of things, we were at 13 seconds into the minimum of 1 added minute, and the referee clearly deciding he'd had enough. Well.
So, on the goal by Sadat Anaku. Hartford leads it 1-0. We'll come back with our halftime next. Our conversation with head coach Brendan Burke here on ESPN Plus and the Wax.
If anyone thinks cancer is going to define you,
Boy, that was
they've
bizarre.
got another thing coming. We know you are more than someone healing their heart. At Trinity Health, we know the importance of seeing the person behind the patient, the fear, the joy, the journey. Bringing you the expert medical teams and state-of-the-art technological advancements of a national health system, along with the personalized care that helps you feel better. Because we see all of you.
The Great Fire of 1835 forced most insurance companies to close, but not us. The day our founders pitched in to pay every claim is the day the Hartford became the Hartford.
This week on USL All Access, Lexington head coach Mac Hemme joins us to talk about taking over one of the big budget clubs in the championship and his remarkable path from Japan to New Mexico to head coach.
Plus, we've got U.S. Open Cup recaps, stadium news at New Mexico United and Sacramento Republic, and why this weekend, Charleston Battery and Detroit City is the must-watch game.
All right, are you ready? Crossbar challenge, here we go. Kick number 1. Just a little low. You got to raise it up. Kick number 2. Maybe you should take those boots off.
1-0 Hartford at the half. It's year 3 for Brendan Burke in charge of the athletic franchise, and earlier this week, Mark Donaldson had a chance to catch up with the Hartford head coach.
It's an opportunity for Hartford in the box. Oliveras can't get it, and it's in. Augie Williams scores. Looking for more here, and they've got more. Samuel Carriaga. Hartford again, and it's 3-0 along the ground. Adewale Obalula, his first goal.
This one slipped through nicely for Williams! So experienced Sebastian Anderson. And it's headed towards goal! Make it 2 for Hartford! The Irishman, Barry Coffey.
So the Wanderer returns. Hello, welcome home.
Yeah, it's been a month.
It has been a month. Yeah, it's been quite a month. How nice is it to be back here?
Yeah, it's great. And to open up on what looks like it'll be a decent day weather-wise, and very good opponent. It's a good test right off the bat. So we couldn't be happier with the results, and the performances are only going to get better.
That's not something you've been able to say in previous seasons,
No,
is it?
no.
Why is that?
I think we have a lot of depth, a lot of quality. We've added guys that can impact games even when they're not going our way. We've added guys that can help us grind through different environments. We haven't always had that. And we have more of those guys right now. So even, we've been missing 5 or 6 guys in the first month of the season here at various times. We've been able to find results.
You've also found a replacement for Momo Dieng. This young lad, Augie Williams, is not bad, is he?
Yeah, well, the whole league knew him, so we were lucky to get him, and he's already showing out. I mean, 2 and 3 in the league, and I think we've got, if not the best forward in the league, we've certainly got one of the best and definitely the most experienced.
When a lot of the league wants him, how do you persuade him that he should come here?
Well, you'd have to follow up and ask Augie that question, but I think he fits right into our group. We have a very good locker room, cohesive, guys that push each other hard, though, every day. Jordan sets that tone, but players with Augie's experience adapt well to that. So I think there were a number of reasons that it made sense for him. And we want him to be in one place for a long time. I know that was important to him and us.
Stability going into a new season, something we've not had at Hartford for a while. We've wanted it, we've thought we've had it,
yep,
but we haven't had it. You set the bar last year. How do you get even higher this year?
Well, it's league. It's in the league. League performances. We want to chase both trophies that USL offers. We want to chase the league. a home playoff game is very, very important to us. So road form, the way we've started, is vital to that, pursuit. And when you're defending a cup, that's just instinct should kick in, and you say this is ours, and we don't want to give it back.
Match day 1, it's the season opener of the USL Championship.
No time like the present for these teams to make a statement and begin the campaign on the right foot.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
An injured knee might look pretty simple, but there's a whole person behind that injury. One who misses the feel of his jump shot and spending time with friends on the court. It's not enough just to heal. He needs to get back out there. At Trinity Health, we're here to help you reach your goals. We combine all the knowledge and expertise of a national health system with personalized health care that treats the individual behind the injury. Because we see all of you.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines from the week. Youth took center stage for the championship in round 1 of the U.S. Open Cup. Phoenix Rising put 5 teenagers in the lineup and cruised to a 4-0 win over San Ramon FC. 4 of those 5 teenage players are academy products. And how about 16-year-old Tyson Espy? He scored the winning goal in a 1-0 Orange County victory over Colorado Springs. Espy is one of 5 players in the championship that have played matches for U.S. Youth National Team. Well, not to be outdone, we feature a veteran player, Tampa Bay Rowdies forward Russell Cicerone, who scored his 70th career goal in Week 3 against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Cicerone enters Week 4 11th all-time in USL Championship goals, and he's making his way up the all-time list in appearances with 234. Upcoming matches to watch in the championship. Saturday, April 4th, Louisville City hosting Charleston Battery. Saturday, April 18th, Charleston back on CBS SN hosting Tampa Bay Rowdies. And then the Prinks Tires USL Cup on April 25th. Hartford Athletic hosts rival Rhode Island on CBS SN. This is the USL halftime update. We're getting closer to the second half. Let's send you back to your match.
Just nerve from the penalty spot here. He can! Emilio Icaza delivers! And Charleston, from 2-0 down, have come back to tie it! Messer towards goal. Oh, it's punched away. The header is down. It's in! It's in! Charleston take the lead in stoppage time!
So Emilio Icaza, honored by the league for his work in Charleston's comeback win. And you look at the team of the week for Hartford, Sebastian Anderson, Anthony Siaha, honored by the league. Brendan Burke was coach of the week for week 1. 1-0 Hartford on top. Mark and I will come back with the second half next. You're watching USL Championship on ESPN Plus and locally on the Wax.
If anyone thinks cancer is going to define you, they've got another thing coming. We know you are more than someone healing their heart. At Trinity Health, we know the importance of seeing the person behind the patient, the fear, the joy, the journey. Bringing you the expert medical teams and state-of-the-art technological advancements of a national health system, along with the personalized care that helps you feel better. Because we see all of you.
The Great Fire of 1835 forced most insurance companies to close, but not us. The day our founders pitched in to pay every claim is the day the Hartford became the Hartford.
Come on, let's see it. Good throw. Oh, he's getting fancy. Dylan, let's see some arm. Not some blubber. All right, one more for Dylan. Come on, Dylan. Let's see that big arm, that big claw.
Is the leader in airport parking at Bradley International. Save 20% by pre-booking on lazfly.com. Lazfly is a proud supporter of Hartford Athletic.
1-0 Hartford at halftime. Before we start the second 45 mark, let's take a look back at the first 45.
Good first half for Hartford, but we could have had a goal for each of the two sides inside the 6th minute. Siaha, good save at one end from Herbert's effort. And then Dick, it's less than 60 seconds later, deny Anaku. It wasn't a bad effort there from Misanve, but they need to get him more involved. And then Dispe, it's a great first touch. Second touch sets him up nicely, and then very little backlift from Sadat Anaku. And that is a fine goal. Nothing whatsoever Eric Dick could do about that one. Excellent goal.
What do you think Sean McCauley said to his team in the room at intermission?
I think they should be playing the game more in the Hartford half, and where the game has been played, it's been bogged down in midfield. The centre-backs are the ones that have been trying to cross in. The right-back's been getting forward. We saw that from Hayden White. When he got forward near the end of the first half, put a good delivery in as well. They need to stretch this game, go a little bit longer, get in behind and get Hartford turned. They're certainly very much in this one. And remember, the last 6 games, they haven't lost any of them against Hartford. But the longer that first half went on, the more they became second best.
Don't miss a minute in 2026. Become a Hartford Athletic season ticket member. Deposits for the 2026 season are open today. Temperature has dropped a couple degrees. Now it feels like 30 out there.
Blue skies, Joe.
Yeah.
Blue skies.
You know what? You have always been, in the time that we've worked together, this year 4, You have always been Mr. Glass Half Full.
Yeah, I grew up in an island in the United Kingdom where blue skies were rare. Give me blue skies regardless of the temperature and I'm happy.
And if you're happy, we're happy.
Well, Hartford are happier after that first half.
No changes in personnel as we start the second 45. Deesplay trying to go long for Hernandez. Good job by Morera to get it to Anaku. Overlapping on the left is Real. Bounces it off Hayden White. Hartford's won a lot of the 50-50 balls this afternoon.
They have. And that's something Indy are going to have to do better in the second half.
Shots were 7-5 Indy in the first half. Shots on target, 2 apiece. And of course, as you saw, Sadat Anaku founding. We have a substitution now for Indy 11. Lance Reiser announces that. So Alejandro Mitrano is in for Dylan Singh. What do you make of that move?
You can have anybody playing through the middle if you don't give them the service. There might be a bit more mobility. They might also move Misanve a little bit further forward.
Played off for a shot and a goal! And Indy equalizes right away. Two minutes into the second 45, and Indy 11 has tied the match at 1.
Only the second league goal that Hartford has conceded. And what we were just talking about, if Indy can get it wide, get to the byline and get the ball in, that's a problem for Hartford to defend against. You still need to put a good delivery in. And once he's able to get to the byline, it's really good play. The cross comes in, and there's the tap-in at the back post for Okello. And the equalising goal. There's an inquest going on in the Hartford defence, but the perfect start to the second half for Indy. And that's what they needed to do. Stretch this game, get it wide, get it in, and things happen.
For Noble Okello, his third USL Championship goal of his career. His last came last year when he was a member of Las Vegas Lights, or Phoenix, I should say, against Las Vegas Lights back in May. So it's all even at 1. So all that good work that Hartford did in the opening 45, 2 minutes into the second half, goes for naught.
They're playing Okello through the middle. They're playing him instead of Singh. And they've brought on Mitrano.
The Mitrano seems like he's playing
Mitrano's
left
come
back.
on at left back.
Yep.
Hayden Quinn has moved into midfield. Basically, everyone's pushed forward one. There was a suggestion that Mitrano might be in contention to start this game at left back and push Quinn further forward. That wasn't the case, but that's exactly what Sean McCauley did at half-time. And by pushing Okello forward into the position that Dylan Singh vacated, what a masterstroke from the third season coach at Indy, Sean McCauley.
Beautiful distribution by Cam Lindley to set up that goal. Morera has it go out. It goes off Junior, so it'll be a goal kick for Eric Dick. So Dylan Singh's day ends after 45 minutes. He had scored last week on a header against Detroit, but really was not much of a factor in that first 45. So Sean McCauley adjusted the four players in the formation, and the result is a goal. Good job by Anderson to knock it away from Okello. Now Mitrano with the takeaway for Indy. Quinn plays it up ahead for Mitrano, but Scarlett's there to clear it out for Athletic. Good job by Quinn to keep it in. Okello plays it back, and Siaha wanted Fisher to leave that ball for him, and Fisher played it over to the near side, but it was last touched by Indy 11. How does Hartford get Augie Williams more involved in the middle?
I thought Hartford played well in the first half. I thought they did the simple things well, and I think with Augie Williams taking away either one or both of the centre-backs, it allowed Sadat Anaku to get a little bit more pace. I think you just keep going. I mean, it's frustrating from a Hartford perspective, the concession of the equalising goal, but Augie Williams he'll do Augie Williams things. There'll be times in the game where you don't see him, but then he'll come to life and pop up with a goal or a chance. I wouldn't be changing anything. It's one of those things for Hartford. It's a lot of the time we look for faults. Sometimes you've got to praise the team for getting back into the game, and that was a really well-worked goal for Indy.
Just the fourth foul called against Hartford so far. It was a relatively clean opening 45. Deflected off Andres Hernandez. Here's the aforementioned Augie Williams. Another play in the center to the captain, Jordan Scarlett.
Okello drops into a kind of 10 position when Hartford has the ball, and that leaves Misanvi and Rendon wide. So it's like a two, trying to keep pressure on the two fullbacks, and then Okello just kind of lurking to try and play on top of Makangila when they don't have the ball in.
They try to go deep to Anaku. It'll be a Hartford throw-in. And here's it appears you have to wear number 2 on your jersey in this game to be throwing the ball in. First it was Hayden White for Indy 11. Now it's Sebastian Anderson for Athletic. 53rd minute, all even at 1 apiece. Anaku for Hartford, and Okello headed up in the air. Metrano tries to play it out. Anaku keeps it in, knocks it off, and that should be the third corner of the match for Athletic.
Yeah, I'm just keeping tabs on Arturo Dispe, who went down. I didn't see enough on it. I thought it was really good from Anaku, and was causing a menace for the Indy defense leading to this corner.
So Anderson from the southwest corner to trigger the corner kick. Far post, Dispe can't get a foot on it. Bicycle kick. Anaku sends it over the touchline, or over the byline, so it'll be a goal kick for Indy 11. All time in this series, Indy 11 6-2-3. The teams have split 5 matches here at Trinity Health, each winning twice with 1 deadlock. And as Mark mentioned earlier, Hartford has not won here since August 13th, 2022.
Danny Barrera with the opening goal that day. Danny now the coach of the Hartford women's team.
Number 10 in green. And a terrific career here in Hartford.
Such a likable individual.
I was just you stole the words. Now here's White. Into the Hartford end. With speed. Plays it out to the right. White trying to overlap behind. Instead, they work it back. Lindley's ball. Played out of there. Race for the ball as it rolls over the near touch line. It'll be a Hartford throw.
I don't think there's much between these two teams, Joe.
No, I think they're pretty evenly matched.
I like the move made by McCauley at halftime. Indy in possession with Okello playing through the middle. And he gives you that kind of presence like Charlie Sharp, who's hurt today and missing from the side.
Dispe along the ground to Anaku. Hartford will reform. There were stretches in that first half where Hartford dominated the possession, but often it didn't result in a dangerous opportunity for Athletic. Play it up ahead to Real. Headed out of there by Paco Craig.
Yeah, it's about the second ball. Jordan Scarlett going wide, and the header was won, but the second ball wasn't.
Dispe after the intercept gets it to Williams in the middle, but he can't control.
His touch has got to be better than that. He's better than that.
Slides off his boot. Now Lindley.
It's a handball.
And a handball called on Hartford.
Yeah, you want that to stick better for Augie.
Looks like they're going to get Michi and Galena set to to come in. Brendan Burke said he would be good for about 20 to 30 minutes, and we're approaching the hour mark.
Yeah, you could go 3-4-3 if you're Hartford.
One touch to White. Double teamed. Fisher steals it away, and Britton Fisher clears it upfield. Williams looking for a call. There's none forthcoming. Nasenvi tries to dribble through to Anderson. Delays him just enough so Hartford can clear the ball.
That's good from the goalie. It's definitely worth chasing those balls.
Eric Dick, 4-0 lifetime against Hartford in his previous USL life. Oh, giveaway. Williams.
He gets a corner, but
you could do more with that.
That's what Anaku's thinking. His strike partner. He's thinking, play me in.
So Real will go over to the far side. Or will it be Anderson? I believe it'll be Anderson to take the corner.
Well, Dick thought he kept it in. Assistant on this near side, Amakar Sikaju, with the flag up to indicate he thought the ball had gone behind for a corner kick. It's little moments like that that can change games. Hartford are going to try and take advantage of this third corner kick for them.
So Anderson will take it. Williams on the goal line behind Dick. Macangilla in there as well. Deespay trying to get free. Instead they go short. Now Anderson sends it in. Headed away and cleared off the 18 by Indy. Junior Moreira back to settle for Hartford, but then just plays it upfield.
That was a waste. Indy with the momentum right now. That's why I'm intrigued to see what Brendan Burke does with this change and Mishi coming on. Could be a straight swap with Anaku, or it could be for either Junior Moreira, Andres Hernandez, or Beverly Macangilla, and go a 4-3-3. Sorry, a 3-4-3.
Real and White with a collision in midfield. Hartford will maintain possession. Flourish, proud to be the official catering partner of Hartford Athletic, providing healthy and delicious catering, meal prep, and takeout. Visit them online at flourishhartford.com or stop by their fly-by location at 72 New Park Avenue in Hartford. Watch the USL Championship in League One on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USL League1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Here's a shot drilled over the goal by Anaku.
Better from Hartford. Playing Augie Williams a little bit closer to Anaku there.
Indy quickly restarting play as we are tied at 1. Okello in a race for the ball, but Deespay gets there first. Ichi Angelina still getting instructions, putting gloves on. Anaku, the Hartford goal in the 33rd minute. Okello in the 47th to deadlock the match for Indy 11. Indy not pressing Hartford, Mark, when Athletic has the ball in their own half.
No, Indy have started the second half well. It's not going to change things too much right now, Sean McCauley. Everybody knows what they're meant to be doing.
Played up ahead. Williams goes down. Indy takes possession away. Hayden White. Long ball upfield. They try to find Okello on the cut. Instead, it's Scarlett for Hartford, and he'll play it back to Anthony Siaha. Goalie's kind of having a catch, as it were. Over an hour in. Now Michi and Galina at the scorer's table. No signal yet what the change will be.
If it was me, it would be for Andres Hernandez and go to a 3-4-3. But I'm not the coach.
You named it.
It will be.
Our outstanding producer, John Forster, relaying the information.
Yep, 3-4-3 incoming. Macangila and Morera in the middle of the park. Means they can double up down that left-hand side with Real and Engalina.
Shots 2 apiece, or rather now 3-2 in favor of Hartford, but really the only difficult scoring chance ended up in the back of the net off the boot of Okello as we have collisions. Hernandez for Hartford, Mitrano for Indy 11.
That's a potent front three of Michi and Galina, Augie Williams and Sadat Anaku. The key from a Hartford perspective is providing them with service.
Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish League sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. So here's Michi and Galina, who has not played in the last 2 games, saw 85 minutes of playing time in the opener at Sporting Jacks. So Hernandez's day has come to an end.
He was on the periphery of this game for long spells, Hernandez. Work ethic and work rate was definitely there, but that's a different type of threat now for Indy to try and worry about. Galina has started off in that kind of centre right position. Augie Williams has gone over to the left hand side for now, but we saw a lot last season. There's a lot of interchanging of positions from Hartford forwards to keep the opposition defenders guessing.
Right, we would see Angelina start on the left and then move over to the right.
Yep.
About 20 minutes into each half. 13 goals in his 3 years with Athletic.
Right now, Augie Williams left, Anaku through the middle, and Michi floating from the right.
Williams at midfield, getting away from White. Here's Michi. Draws the double team. Now Real into the box. Cleared out of danger by Anthony Herbert. That huge, big back line for Indianapolis. Try to play it through the middle, but Indy has other thoughts. Quinn leads the counter to Masanvi. Loic Masanvi cuts it back inside on Dispe. Easy play by Anthony Siaha.
I think Indy's defence has looked a lot more solid with Herbert alongside Paco Craig rather than Mikel Rashid, who had his moments and struggled a lot in the first couple of games. He won his fair number of challenges, but didn't play particularly well. No surprise that Anthony Herbert has come in today. Just like to see Hartford increase the tempo of this one a wee bit.
That back four, that time it was Herbert, really here in Fortress. Hartford putting up a fortress, missing it off the boot of Dispe, but the sweeper keeper Siaha comes out to get the ball back.
This should be an opportunity now for Indy to get a little bit more control of that midfield area, with Okello dropping deep when they don't have the ball.
Anderson gets the foul by Masanvi. And we're going to get a card. Second one of the match for Indy 11. That time it's to the 22-year-old from Togo, Loic Masanvi. So Masanvi is booked by our referee, Ethan Garcia, who's had a pretty quiet match.
Yellow card Assist to Indy 11, number 90, Louis Martante.
Aaron Wheeler off the Hartford bench to navigate the restart. The game tied at 1. Pretty evenly played.
It's like a chess match right now.
Yeah, each team's had portions of the play where they've controlled possession, but often without it resulting in dangerous opportunities. Williams in the middle displaced, but it goes right to Beverly Macangila. Boy, Macangila's role has changed through the years, Mark. He went from a sub to a 90-minute man in the middle of that Hartford formation. Now Angelina. I believe Michi's first touch of the day. Played towards Dick. Williams couldn't get through and saw no reason to because the ball was going to be played by the keeper. Up the far side comes Hayden White.
He's played well today.
I was just going to say, he's been among their better players. As we hit the 68th minute, Westfield Bank, the regional community bank, focused on its customers and their financial security, the communities they share, and the teams we root for. Westfield Bank, what better banking's all about. Online at westfieldbank.com. Member FDIC. White's throwing, never gets to the target. Quinn, though, regains. Headed away by Fisher. They try to play through Okello in the middle. Now Anaku. Good moves, but was stymied by Mitrano. Angelina on the back pedal. Anderson overlapping on the right, gets it. Plays it off the Indy player, but it'll be a throw-in for Hartford, I believe. Went over the near touchline.
Here's a prediction. If Hartford win this, it'll be because Anderson provides an assist from the right or Real provides an assist from the left. They could be the key. With Hartford now having 3 in attack, to add to that attack could be crucial from the wide areas.
Looks like the former UConn Husky Micah Thomas getting set to come in for Indy 11. Even at 1. Too far for Anderson. Sails over the byline. It'll be a goal kick.
Good idea, though.
Seems like in this half, Hartford's just missing on their connections, Mark.
Yeah, but Indy have been better.
Yes.
And all credit to Sean McCauley for what he did at half-time. Dylan Singh didn't get the service that Indy was hoping for. And just to make that little change of Mitrano coming in at left back and pushing Aidan Quinn forward.
Boy, the wind really took that goal kick. Hartford able to maintain possession. Anaku has it knocked away. Gets it on the near side. Hartford looking for the go-ahead goal.
Should be a goal kick.
And it will, off Sebastian Anderson. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Angelina for Hartford in the offensive third. Plays it back for Deespae as Hartford tries to find a hole in that Indy 11 defense, which has been pretty stout here in the second 45.
Yeah, noticeable that Hartford have just pushed Real on the left and certainly Sebastian Anderson on the right. A lot further forward now. Got to be better from Siaha, though. Quick apology from the goalkeeper.
So here is the former UConn Husky, Micah Thomas from Padre Vidre, Florida. Former co-captain at UConn under Chris Bondi. Replaces Loic Massanvi.
Replacing number 90, Louis Montari.
Thomas signed before the season began from MLS Next Pro. 1-1, 71st minute. Took just 2 minutes of the second half for Indy to score the equalizer. Williams can't get to the ball. Nice play by Cam Lindley to shield him off, and Anthony Herbert plays for Indy 11. I would think with the wind being the way it is, you're better off playing the ball along the ground here.
Yeah, but there's still gaps in behind for both sides to exploit. If you can't work out what the wind's doing after 71 minutes, that's a handball.
Not called. Williams.
Wow.
Anderson serves it. Far post. Anaku sends it wide.
Aidan Quinn immediately to the referee saying, hello? I mean, just the one arm, and you're not penalizing it for just the one. I mean,
Price Chopper is an official partner of Hartford Athletics. Soccer fans, save 15% with your Advantage card off general admission tickets to all Hartford Athletic home games right here at beautiful Trinity Health Stadium. Visit PriceChopper.com for more details on this amazing offer. Collision in midfield. Foul will go against Hartford. Quick restart for Indy. They play it for Thomas up on the left. He played as a defender at UConn. Sends one into the box and a goal! Bruno Rendon off the service from Micah Thomas, and in the 73rd minute, Indy 11 has jumped on top.
What a ball in from the UConn kid. And what a finish from Bruno Rendon, who's been really quiet in the majority of this game. But once again, Hartford done from a ball from wide areas. That was a delightful ball in. And now the inquest going on at the back again. No one picking up Bruno Rendon. This comes about after Dispay is penalised for a challenge in midfield. The ball is delicious. The defending is not so. It's poor from Britton Fisher. He's got to get closer to his man. But what a strike that is. And Indy have turned this one around.
2 goals in the second half for Indy 11. And as I was saying, at UConn, Micah Thomas was used in the back line. Was a pretty sturdy defender for the Huskies. But he's playing up front, and as you said, that was a terrific service into the box.
That'll hurt for Hartford. It's definitely not a smash and grab because there's been nothing between the two sides. It's the kind of thing you could see happening at either end.
Hartford will press for the equalizer.
They've not played badly today, Hartford. They just haven't created enough with what they've had in the ball. There's still plenty of time remaining. Remember, this is a fixture that finished 4-4 in May last year. So it's a fixture known for goals. Now Hartford have got nothing to lose.
Anderson will throw it in. Deep into Hartford's offensive end. Into the box, throws it short. Real with a bullet, drills it into the Liberty Bank Suites.
Tempting, it sits up, I get that, but unless that ends up in the back of the net, his teammates can question if it was the right decision. But the 2 goals that Hartford have conceded today, both back post finishes, and that's not good enough. They're better than that normally, Hartford. They've defended so well in the first 4 games of the season, the first 3 in the league and then the US Open Cup game. But that's just 2 really good balls that have been totally punishable.
Yeah, they've given up more goals in the first 30 minutes of the second half than they had all year combined.
Credit to Indy for taking the free kick quickly after the foul by Dispay. But that's sloppy from Sebastian Anderson. They haven't really got going in the second half, Hartford. I thought they played well. I thought they managed the first half very well. I don't think they've done that much wrong in the second half after Indy got the equalising goal. But it just shows you football's a game of being clinical. 2 teams that are pretty closely matched, but 2 bits of quality from wide areas. And that's the difference.
Soccer season is here. SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Along with Mark Donaldson and our crew, Joe D'Ambrosio, the home opener for Hartford Athletic. Josh O'Brien called for the foul in midfield. Home openers, this the 8th. For Athletic, 3-2-2. They had won their last 2, but they need to do some work just to get equal here. Good anticipation by Thomas.
It was. It's got to go to Anderson, though, from Beverly.
Here's Rendon. He has become such an offensive force for Indy 11. Macangila there to knock it away, but it goes right to Rendon. They keep possession with Quinn. Now Rendon bangs it off Fisher. Riel in a box. And all Hartford can do is clear it over the far touchline.
You wondered, you said at halftime, what can Sean McCauley do? Well, the changes that he's made have worked wonders. And by the way, he makes the change at halftime and pushes Okello through the middle. Okello scores within 3 minutes. Then he brings on Micah Thomas in the 71st, and he provides the assist in the 73rd. If you're the coaching staff, you're quite proud of the decisions that you've made and the influence that they've had so far.
Anderson plays it up ahead, and Galeno with room. Here's Michi, 1v1 against Mitrano. Drops back, Anderson barely keeps it in. 2-1 Indy 11. Ball is blocked. It'll be a throw-in for Anderson.
When you're giving the ball to Michi like that, the closest player to him in the middle of the park was 30 yards away. There has to be a better understanding. The same wavelength. Because in essence, they're playing with 4 attackers just now. Hartford with Real going wide left, and now Anderson coming wide right. So it's about the quality into them.
Galena escapes with it. Mitrano knocks him down. Anderson waited for the ball, and it was intercepted. Good play by Mitrano. They give it to him on the overlap. Into Indy 11 offensive territory. Back to the captain, Aiden Quinn. Room to run for Quinn. Cuts it to the middle. Distributes back on the left to Thomas. Plays it back to Quinn. Give and go for Thomas, who's open. Sends it across. Siaha elevates to come up with it. Modern Chiropractic delivers holistic, state-of-the-art care for back pain, neck pain, auto injury recovery, and more. Our focus isn't just on alleviating symptoms. They strive to find and fix root causes, helping patients regain lasting health and wellness. Visit them in Newington today.
Spoke about Engalina, who didn't have anybody near him when he last received the ball. It's played forward by Siaha to Augie Williams from the goal kick, or the kick out. And there's no one near Augie Williams, even if he wins the header. Just decision making.
Not as sharp in the second half.
No, you're chasing the game, Hartford, but you can still do so by a structure. Just playing a little bit closer. And Aku closer to Augie Williams is going to help them. Closer to Engalina is going to help them as well.
It's a corner kick, just the second of the match for Indy as they played it off of Hartford. Here in the 80th minute, it was Sadat Anaku from Dizpay in the 33rd minute on a beautiful play to give Hartford the lead. But 2 minutes into the second half, Noble Okello from Cam Lindley. And then in the 73rd minute, Bruno Rendon from Micah Thomas. Corner kick from the left of Anthony Siaha. Headed up in the air. Hartford clears it for Engalina. Hartford wants a foul. Michi keeps possession. Play on. Here's Engalina looking to make a little magic. Sends it across. Only red there. By the time Michi made that pass, he had 3 players on him. Here's Okello. Trying to race with Scarlett. Trying to turn the corner, and he does. Noble Okello as Scarlett slide tackles to take the ball away. Now both sides are furious with the work of the referee, Ethan Garcia.
That's a brilliant tackle by Jordan Scarlett. If he doesn't win the ball there, he's in big trouble.
Hartford looking to counter, searching for the equalizer. Hartford getting another sub ready. Into the box. It'll be a throw-in for Hartford. They're getting the Cypriot Christos Hadjipachalis ready to go. Fourth official getting the magic board to signal the sub in. And it's going to be for Junior Moreira. So without Coffey, without Obololo, without Carriaga, not much room for Brendan Burke to sub experienced players. It's just his second sub of the match. Here's the throw in by Anderson. Headed out of danger. Anderson regains for Hartford off the header from Okello. Rendon plays it up ahead in a race for it. Gets grabbed.
He doesn't need to do that, Macangila. He's fortunate that there was a Hartford covering player, otherwise that could easily have been denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. But again, because there was a covering player, it's just his discipline.
Third yellow of the year against Beverly Macangila. And Bruno Rendon is helped up to his feet by his teammates.
I think he's been very good up till that point, Beverly, today, because he's done the simple things and he's just done them well.
So they will march off 10 yards. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. 83rd minute, 2-1 Indy 11. Lindley with the chip. Headed down. Augie Williams back to help. We'll start the run upfield. Hartford trying to probe that Indy 11 defense that has been stout here in the second half. Shots are now 10-9 in favor of Indy. Hartford still just the 2 shots on target. They haven't had one here in the second half. Indy, after changing personnel at halftime, Anaku offside.
Just look at the structure of that attack from Hartford. Just a ball played into the land of the Giants. They need better ideas. And I get the more pragmatic approach to this season. It's fine when you're a goal up, but then you've got to defend better. And if you don't, you then have to go to plan B, which is that more transitional game. It's all right having 3 forwards on, but you can't have that huge gap between the forwards or between the forwards and the midfield.
You got to look at the sub, Edward Chiza, the Ugandan, coming into the game for Noble Okello. Hartford trying to play it up ahead. Too far for Anaku. Hartford just... Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Joe, Hartford in the second half remind me of Indy towards the end of the first half. Just struggling to come up with something fresh.
Yeah. Yep. You'd like a reset, but there's no time.
No. I mean, they've got the players to do so. Available. They are missing a lot. I get that. I mean, a front 3 of Engalina, Williams, and Anaku. You've got to be able to find better service to them.
Scarlett plays it over the far sideline.
Good catch.
Sign him up. Today's Hartford Business Journal Alliance partner of the match, New England Asset Management. 2-1 Indy 11 on the goals by Noble Okello and Bruno Rendon here in the second half.
Game of 2 halves.
Really was, even though to the eye test, Hartford the better of play in the first half. Indy, I think, the much better of play here in the second.
I thought Hartford were really good in that first half, but it's like they've been flummoxed by that early equalizer from Indy, been spooked by it.
The goal by Bruno Okello just 2 minutes in. So this will be a Hayden White throw-in. Anaku back to help clear it out. Herbert plays it up ahead to Rendon. Offside.
Indy's performance in this game, the first half was like the first half an hour against Brooklyn. The second half was like the last hour against Brooklyn. If Sean McCauley can get 90-minute consistency from his team, he'll be a big threat this season. Remember as well, crucially, without Charlie Sharp.
And also without Jack Blake. Now Pat Hogan's done for the year, who was terrific on the back line for them last year. But Blake, according to Sean McCauley, is in the final stages of his rehab to get back into the lineup. And that'll just make them a little bit deeper. Plus Charlie Sharp, as you mentioned. Scarlett on the volley.
You don't panic if you're Hartford, because you've got money in the bank from the first 3 league games of the season where I thought they were exceptional. But you've got to find a way when teams are quite happy to come and sit in at home, because Hartford are now a scalp in this league after what they did last year. It's very different going on the road and defending for your lives, because Hartford can do that brilliantly. When you're the one that's got to go and make the play, that's different. This could be different.
Here's Engelina from Anderson, sends it across. Dick bobbles it. Williams can't get it off. Knocked off the goal line.
That is incredible defending. I think it's Anthony Herbert.
Yep.
Absolutely brilliant. It's poor goalkeeping from Eric Dick. And Augie Williams has done everything he has to do. It's on target, and somehow Anthony Herbert with a brilliant block. That's a great ball from Anderson to Mishi. That's awful goalkeeping, but he's got his defender to thank.
Herbert mobbed by his teammates. Corner kick number 5 for Hartford.
Equalizer!
It is all even at 2 off the corner. Hartford Athletic comes up with the equalizer.
It might be an own goal. Whether it's Scarlett getting the final touch. There was definitely a touch from an Indy player, but who got the last touch? This should clear it up. There you go. It is an own goal.
It is an own goal.
And it looks like it might be Josh O'Brien who got the final touch.
Off the Anderson corner kick. Confusion ensued. And O'Brien inadvertently put it in his own net. That was all set up by the bad goalkeeping by Dick that allowed Williams to get the shot that was cleared off the line by Herbert. That warmed up this crowd. Hartford now forming up the attack. It's Reiser on the PA, confirming the own goal call. Brigno Vineyard stoppage time will be 3 minutes. Cleared off the back by Herbert. Played up ahead for Micah Thomas, but the veteran Dispe beats him to the ball. Dribbles it up the near touchline. Good work by Arturo. Placed to Williams. And we got a whistle and a foul. Hartford was hoping they went with advantage. So 3 minutes of Brigno Vineyard stoppage time. A dramatic turn of events after it looked like Indy 11 was on their way to stealing 3 points. Played towards the box for Williams. Dick 15 yards out with the catch and the restart for Lindley. Plays it up ahead for Rendon, trying to beat Fisher. Fisher shields him away and plays in the middle for Engelina. 2 apiece.
was really good by Britton Fisher.
That's a foul on Angelina.
I don't know where he's going or why he's going there, but to leave his boot in on Chisholm, this gives them an opportunity to be pretty adventurous and send the big boys from the back forward.
eFootball is here. Live your dream. Rep your team and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball. Free to play. Download now. So we're into the second minute of what's supposed to be 3 minutes of stoppage time. Hartford had very little to talk about. Now we've got some action as they try to set up. Temper's a little frayed. Referee Ethan Garcia tries to get in there to legislate. I think that's Deespe who's down. I'm not sure injury as much as to get a rest. Got a lot of red and a lot of green congregating together. Now Deespe is up, walking a little stiff-legged. Now the official comes over from the side.
Yeah, I wonder if Domenico Gilardino has seen something. Might be a card here. Looks like it's yellow. Deespe. I think you mentioned it spot on, Joe. I think he went down to try and deflect attention away from maybe what he did. Is that the last card, though? Yes, it is. On we go.
Lindley with the restart. Once again, we've got pushing and shoving in the middle of the pile. Here's Lindley. The chip in the air, and Siaha comes up with it. Foul on Indy nonetheless. So Deespe with his second yellow of the year. Foul at midfield as Hanaku went after it. Hartford knowing time is of the essence. Scarlett complaining. Referee gets out the canister and marks where the ball should be. Indy retreats so he doesn't have to use up more of the material in his canister. His spray paint. Look at how far up Siaha is. Into the offensive half. Sent in. Headed down. Thomas wheels and deals it out of play. Boy, Micah Thomas has not looked out of place today. Here's Angelina with the throw-in as we are winding down. They look for Michi. Taken down by Thomas.
I didn't think that was a foul. Wow.
And that'll do it.
That was a roller coaster.
That is the end of the game.
So, a 2-2 tie is the way it ends. And I guess both teams pretty much got what they deserved, Mark, in an evenly played match.
I would think that's fair. How it came about is going to be very different. Indy will go back thinking, wow, we were 2-1 up until very late on. That own goal in the 88th minute, earning Hartford a point. They felt they could have maybe got 3 points having gone in at halftime with the lead. So everybody will be both happy and disappointed in equal measures. 2-2.
Hanaku and an own goal for Hartford. Okello and Rendon for Indy 11 as the players gather at midfield.
Gather.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Good to see you here. Good game. Let's go warm up. We'll come back and wrap things up here from Trinity Health Stadium. It's a draw in full time. Hartford 2, Indy 11 2. So we end up in a 2-all draw. Hartford scored first in the 33rd minute. Sadat Anaku from Dispe, but then early in the second half, 2 minutes in, Noble Okelu converted the Cam Lidley feed to tie it up. Then in the 73rd minute, Micah Thomas found Bruno Rendon on the far post to tie it at 1. Then Hartford late pressed the issue and got an own goal in the 88th minute. And Mark, the stats would tell you this was a pretty even match.
Yeah, it was a watchable game. It was a strange game because both sides weren't on top at the same time. It was like a pendulum. It swung one way and then it went the other. That draw's a fair result. It's just the manner of the draw, the nature of how it came about. It'll feel a better point for Hartford in the end, knowing they were just a couple of minutes away from not getting any. However, from an Indy perspective, what a difference in the second half. And helping them going forward will be some great deliveries from wide areas.
So our final score in full time, Hartford Athletic 2, Indy 11 2. For our producer John Forster, our director Tom Stanwitz, and our power station crew, and of course my broadcast partner, the beloved Mark Donaldson, I'm Jody Ambrosio. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on April 4th right here on ESPN Plus and the Wax.